Hey everyone, Profeta here, bringing you a new Advanced Wars by Web replay with commentaries. So this time I'm bringing you a match between me and Weenie valid for the 7th Discord Cup, which is played in hyphen settings. So we're playing in a map called Forecast of Victory, which as you can see has a lot of properties, especially in the center. There are some contested ones. So that benefits a bit more of Kindle. And about the many properties, I have to say that that brings a lot of funds into play, because now you can deploy higher tech units such as mega tanks. And looking at the position of the ports, so here we have a kind of a back port that you may use for transports, but this port is in a interesting position, because if you deploy a carrier, you can manage to reach this position to block the airport, the enemy airport. So that might be an interesting strategy. Of course, your enemy will not let his airport be captured that easily, but it's something that you can pull off and put some pressure there for your opponent. So in regard to the position of the airport, is interesting too, because the airport is quite close to the front lines. So as you can see, this airport can defend this position in one turn and can reach the center practically in 2 turns. So airports here are very important to use and to take care of. But the COs, I'm not going to describe their day-to-day abilities today, nor their CO powers. I'm going to talk about how they are played, since that info is available in the site. So and is regarded as a late game CO because of hyper upgrade, basically, because the more units you have in the field, the more the healing is more strong, we would say. So you can do you can put your units in a good position, force your opponent to attack, and then you can counterattack with an incredible superior advantage because of the healing and the +1 movement and the extra attack, which is a 10% attack bonus in Advanced Wars by Web. So it is a kind of a defensive CO to play with, totally the opposite of Kindle. So with Kindle you want to be aggressive, especially in the early phases of the match, because you have 2 very aggressive tools, such as the day-to-day ability of Kindle, which lets you put units in your cities, and practically you're going to return very strong counterattack, so that may stop your opponent from attacking those units in cities. And also you can pressure your own opponent's units and cities because of Urban Blight, which only costs 3 stars, or rectangles, or whatever we have here in Advanced Wars by Web. Whether I'm going to call them stars, because of that's how they are in the game. So yeah, Urban Blight is a very strong CO power. You can put a lot of pressure in the cap phase, and not much in the cap phase. I'd say in mid game, when there are some blows traded. So yeah, in the early you want to pressure with the day-to-day, and then with Urban Blight. However, in high funds, even though in standard this matchup tends to benefit more Kindle, in high funds I'd say it is much more even, and probably it benefits Anti more, because as I've said, the hyper upgrade is such a good super CO power, and in high funds powers are going to be more frequent because of the higher tech units that are on the field, and once they are attacked or you attack with, they get a lot of CO meter charge. So hyper upgrade is going to be online much more frequently than in standard. And high society, I don't think it is as good as hyper upgrade, but in good hands it can be very fearsome. So I'd say that although Kindle loves the early game, it is not a bad CO at late game, at least from my opinion, because of that high society. It can wipe out one entire army if the opponent positions their units in a bad formation. Of course, why high society is not as good as hyper hybrid, I think it's because of the 1+ movement, because you can zone out with hyper upgrade, and with high society you don't have that possibility. So I can tell this from experience because I have played this matchup in high funds, and you really miss that +1 movement in high society. But if you can catch your opponent off guard, then it's their demise. So that's about the CO matchup. I think it's a bit even probably in this map. So, well, I've talked about the map, about the COs, so let's get going to the match. So you know the deal, first turns, there's nothing much to be talk about. You just go and capture everything you have as close as possible. You may want to deploy some transports if possible, because especially in high funds you get much more revenue from using them, because they still cost 5,000 funds, but now each property it's worth 2,000 funds. So if you can accelerate the capture of those properties, you're recovering that investment much sooner. So in having that in mind, my opponent here deploys the APC, so he can put that strategy to use, and also deploys the black boat, which is pretty obvious because you want to reach this airport as soon as possible, so you can harass this area with battle copters. So nothing out of the ordinary here, I believe. So we keep capturing properties, and I go for the black boat and the APC, but I do go for the APC in the base here, in the base closer to the port. Why is that? I do believe these 3 infantries are going to do some good capture of the cities here. So this infantry here will go for these 2 properties. I want to capture these 2 properties and not this one or this one, basically because these cities are chained. So once you finish capture this city, you can start capturing this city right away the next turn. So you're winning more funds that way. Probably you don't want to capture the port with this infantry because it's back backwards, it's not chained. So there may be some argument to capturing this city because it is a bit more contested than these other 2. Although I'm not that sure about it, because this airport I mean, can really put some pressure here. So yeah, the best option is to actually go for these 2 chained cities. So let's see how that different position of deployment of the APC affects the cap phase of us both. So yeah, he accelerates this infantry here to the position here in the left, but I'm not sure about the usefulness of this APC, because I can do the same here, as you can see, the next turn without the use of APC. So I'm not sure. Probably he can gain some advantage here. Let's see. So he goes for the airport, of course, and now he deploys a tank and an artillery. So a tank, it's a normal deployment because you want to harass infantry early. In fact, in high funds, it's so ridiculous that you want to harass the capture phase that you can even sacrifice tanks. I have seen some matches where some crazy people do that. I probably won't ever do something like that because I tend to be more conservative with the use of my units, but I have seen some, as I have said, some Rambo-like people that go and sack their tanks to interrupt some captures. And if you actually can interrupt that capture, that means that you can actually destroy the infantry or make it retreat for several turns. Then it will pay off eventually, because as you know, properties are worth 2,000 funds. So 3 turns of interrupting a cap, it's already 6,000 funds, which is nearly the cost of the tank, so it may be worth it. So as you can see, I used my PC in a different way. Of course, I go with the black. Something I didn't tell you about, but probably most of you have noticed by now, that units have movement animation now, so that's amazing. I really thank my infinite thanks to the guys who were in charge of this project. It really makes the game more vivid, so really infinite thanks to you guys. You are the best. You make this site to be alive to this day, so thank you a lot. Returning to the match, here I answer with a neotank. So this is the thing with opening with light vehicles in high fonts. If you don't have the fonts in the next turn, so here Kindle doesn't have fonts in the next turn to actually deploy a neotank, she will be in a bit of trouble, because I can pressure that tank of hers with my own neotank. I will have a superior advantage there over the center, for example, if we want to go there. So you have to be careful if you deploy light vehicles in the opening phase. So perhaps if Kindle had deployed an infantry instead of an artillery, she would have now funds enough for a neotank. However, I know why my opponent decides to go for artillery. So my opponent wants to actually blow the pipes in, and probably using a one shot of an artillery and one shot of a neotank or mid-tank, it's enough. And it is important to blow the pipes in here in this map, because you can now reinforce this side of the map and this side of the map with probably equal speed. So you're going to pressure more your opponent, give some more uncertainty to where your units are going, so give your opponent a little harder time to predict where you're going to amass your units. So that's about it. And yeah, of course he needs to answer with something, so he answers with a mid-tank, which is not enough, I think, because if the mid-tanks goes through here, then they are stopped by this forest. If the mid-tank goes here, then it might put some pressure on this side of the map. Something I didn't say in the intro of this match is that my strong front is this one, of course, because I have this base, can deploy some tanks or vehicles, can reach these tiles fast, and because of the airport. The airport, as I have said, can reinforce this whole section in one turn and practically reach this position in 2 turns. So this is my strong front and this is my weak front. Of course, you want to take that into account when you reinforce your units, because you want to pressure your opponent's weak front. That's a kind of a rule of thumb when you play advanced warfare, when maps are when the fronts are so easily determined in a map. You probably want to face your opponent in your strong front, because you can reinforce faster there and your opponent will not. So you will have the numerical advantage there. So let's see if I can actually pull that out. So that's something I didn't mention here. It's the use of my NPC. I at this point you practically know how to use them. So I accelerated this infantry here in the port to this position, so he can start capturing now this city, and put the APC here. So I deployed an infantry 3 spaces away from this APC, and now I can accelerate another infantry to this property. So probably I went too fast with the replay, but this APC had the chance to block this city, I believe. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he can put an infantry there in this city. So my opponent didn't, and went for this property. And as I have said, I'm not sure about the use of this APC. Probably blocking this city would have been interesting, because even though I have a neo tank, he can attack with a tank and get a neo tank. Perhaps he can reinforce that position faster with the help of an artillery. I'm not sure. It could have been a more aggressive move there, but it's alright to play a bit more conservative. Although the plan with Kindle it's to play aggressive, so perhaps that movement was to my advantage actually. So, but we will see what happens in the next turns. So yeah, I deploy my infantry here with the APC and move these two infantries here to be ferried by the black boat in the next turn. So why two infantries? I go two infantries because I want to capture these two cities the fastest as possible. So if I go with one infantry, it's at least 4 turns to actually capture these two properties. Yeah. So with these two infantries, I believe it's 2 turns for one city and 3 turns to finish the capture of the other city. So I'm winning some funds there. And I go 3 tanks. Basically, I want to have some presence here with my tanks to counter both these vehicles, the tank and the artillery, and put some pressure on this side of the map. As I have said, this is where I want to fight. So yeah, that tank is not going to do much because I have my Neo tank here in the vicinity, so it will reach the center fast and I can put some pressure on it. So I'm not afraid of this tank. But what I am afraid of is that this mid tank, if I go with the Neo tank here to pressure this mid tank may have opportunities to put me in some trouble. And now my opponent deploys a Neo tank, so I might be in some trouble soon. Let's see. Yeah, as I have said, I don't care about that tank. I will just capture that city, go for the tower, normal moves, deploy one tank here and these two here. So I'm not sure about deploying this tank here because it doesn't stop anything. Perhaps I wanted to harass some infantry, but I'm not sure. Perhaps this tank would have been better here. But I needed, probably I wanted a tank anyways because I needed to deploy an entire. This is a preemptive anti-air and I want it now because in next turn my opponent can deploy a battlecopter and it will not. If I let him deploy the battlecopter and I don't have a preemptive anti-air, then this anti-air in the next turn will be too late to actually defend something here, and this battlecopter would have a bit of would have some free hits on my infantry side, and I don't want that. So preemptive anti-air and artillery. This artillery, I'm not sure, but I wanted to have some answer to this mid tank or Neo tank. So since I don't have any more funds for a Neo tank, I didn't want to go mid tank because it would be too slow to reach the fronts. I wanted to use an artillery. So although they have the same movement, artillery has other options because it doesn't matter that it is slower. This is as slow as a mid tank, I believe, because it can shoot from far. So and it is cheap, so it's not like I'm spending a lot of money on it. So yeah, why not? Yeah, we keep capturing properties. We're still, I believe, in the capture phase of the match. So. And here, well, the previous turn I blocked this city with an APC. Strategy that my opponent didn't want to use. I used it, so I am at least making him lose 2,000 funds. And because of the positioning of the infantries, unless my opponent moved this infantry 3 spaces away from the city, it's more than 2,000 funds. It's actually at least 4. Yeah, no, it's 2 because now my opponent has put this infantry here. So yeah, you can use APCs that way and at least tank one shot because they will survive and they can function as transport anyways. So unless you're very reckless with them, you can do that at least once. So I go with a transport copter here because I want to reach this city as fast as possible. So if I use my black boat, I'll waste at least 2 turns to reach here, 1 to transport, 2 to actually reach the city. So it's a lot of funds I'm losing. It's more than what the transport copter is worth. So I want to accelerate the capture of that city. So this Neo tank now it's a bit more passive because it is defending more than pressure. Um, because my opponent has a Neo tank too in reserve. So also now he has broken the pipes in and very far from doing that. So that's an advantage that my opponent have right now because as I have said, now he can reinforce this side of the map as fast as he can this. So from this basis, I mean, so that gives me a little bit of uncertainty as to where those units may be going. So yeah, we keep capturing properties. But look at the position in this section of the map. So my opponent is not protecting this side of the map with enough units, I believe. So the artillery goes backwards and the Neo tank goes to this front too. And on top of that, now the tank is retreating too. So as you can see, this infantry is totally unprotected, so I'm going to attack it with tanks and try to pressure this side of the map so I can get some cities from my opponent. And something for me to worry about is that now he has to blow that bomber. So this bomber here is very powerful because one anti-air is not enough to counter it. Of course, if I can place my anti-air adequately, I can at least slow this bomber a bit for some turns, but eventually I need a fighter to fight that bomber. So I am forced to deploy a fighter this turn. I don't have a choice. So that puts me in a bit of a defensive position more than attacking, which is not bad for Andy, as I have said. So I think we're still good. So as I have said the previous turn, I am going to punish that infantry and put some pressure on this side of my opponent's flank. So, but this is not looking good for me. So my opponent has a mid tank which I can't attack. I can't attack that mid tank, at least not effectively, and has a Neo tank, an artillery. There are 2 tanks coming, and it is looking a bit troublesome for me now. So I'm going to have to assume some kind of a defensive formation here to not get completely wiped out by Kindle. So yeah, I deploy the fighter as I have said, and yeah, I managed to make my opponent retreat the infantry, so I have won there in some respect. Yeah, and he's obviously amassing his units towards this position, towards his strong front. So that's a very good strategy from Weenie. Now he's forming a kind of a deathfall. So you know the deathfall probably by now. Deathfall is basically a huge or not so huge amount of units that are amassed together, which are covered normally in a formation that you can't actually attack without getting completely wiped out. So it is a force to be reckoned with. However, I think that in standard hyphens it is less effective to use the deathball strategy because you can predict it. You can, more than predict it, you can prepare for it. So I see that my opponent is massing units here, so I am going to do something like position my units in a good defensive formation, close to my bases so I can reinforce faster and such. In fog, it is more effective, the deathball strategy, because you have the element of surprise. So yeah, you unless you can see the entire deathball or some good portion of it, you will not anticipate what's coming for you, and once it hits, it's very hard to come back from that. So yeah, in fact, it is a very strong strategy. But here I am not so afraid of it, so I will just position my units accordingly. I will not panic. So here I am punishing that APC for just sitting there and taking that infantry away too. So I am actually going to take these 2 cities, and my opponent, I'm not sure if he can do much, He could attack with one tank here maybe, and put the Neo tank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't reach anyways, I think so, and I can deploy a bomber. So these two cities are pretty much mine. I put the fighter here in the city because I know my opponent doesn't have enough CO meter to activate Urban Blade, so this fighter is safe, and also to block this infantry from capturing the city. So he can't touch this fighter with any units that he has nearby, so this city is safe, it's completely safe. So I have protected the previous turn. I put my anti-air here 6 spaces away, or 5, I'm not sure, but in enough movement range to actually defend this infantry that was in the city. So he didn't attack it with a bomber. I mean, that's something you might want to do. As I have said, I have slowed that bomber enough for enough turns to actually have a fighter in position to defend. So, but I need more anti-airs because now he can spam air units, and if I don't have enough anti-airs, I'm going to be swept away. And now I go for the battleship. So this is a very defensive move here because I am practically trying to defend these 2 cities or defend these infantries, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This tile 2 is defended, so. But look at the position here of my units. So if my opponent wanted, he could have gone for a very strong attack here, I believe. I'm not going to use the move planner now because I'm reserving that for the end of the match, you will see. But I believe he could have done something, and although I'm not sure because yeah, the only units that can one-hit KO this infantry, it's the Neo tank or the bomber. These tanks can't, so he would have to use 2 tanks to destroy this infantry because he doesn't have infantries nearby, and that would expose 2 tanks. Then he could have attacked my artillery, but probably that's it, unless he wants to actually use the bomber too. So it's a lot of units commitment for destroying 1 infantry or an artillery. So I'm not so sure if it was worth it. So perhaps that's why, as you will see, my opponent didn't attack the formation. So that's kind of a. He actually attacked. Let's see what happens now. So it's going to attack. I mean to capture those properties. I have nothing to do there. I don't have enough units to actually stop him there, and puts the artillery there to have the increased attack bonus, increased attack firepower, I mean, and now it's spamming bombers. This is a dangerous situation for me. As you can see, he has more units, has bombers, has neo tanks, a lot of tanks. I have 1 tank practically, so I am in trouble. I am in deep trouble. For once, I thought perhaps if I attack this artillery and these tanks, then I did the simulation and my opponent's counterplay, and no, I was going to be wiped out in the next turn. So no, I'm not going to attack. Well, of course, I'm going to attack with the anti-air that battlecopter because it's a free hit. So I believe there is not much to debate against attacking a battlecopter with an anti-air, even if you lose the anti-air, because first the anti-air is cheaper than the battlecopter, and you will make your opponent use 2 of his units to destroy the anti-air, unless he attacks with a neo attack or something. So I think it's nearly always a good trade for the anti-air. So look at the ultra defensive position I am putting my units in. So look at this, I am putting my units in such a formation, so far away from the Neo tank at least, so that he doesn't crush me in the next turn. And look at the position of the fighter. The fighter there it's protecting practically the entire, and kind of protecting this artillery too. Why? Because if he decides to attack with these tanks, I can destroy him with my Neo tank or this tank. No, this tank now because I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's see what I do with that new tank. I think that I actually move that new tank there to destroy the pipe. I'm not sure. Let's see. No, I don't think so because I want to protect this position. Yeah, no, I don't move it. But I still have the neo tank, the battleship to do some damage. So, although I think, yeah. Sorry, it was a replay bug. Yeah, I remembered correctly that I destroyed the pipe because I can now reinforce with this base this position too. So yeah, my opponent could have attacked, but looking at this position, the only thing that my opponent would have taken out was this infantry, which is already dead basically, and attack the artillery, and that's it. Because yeah, you can attack with attack that infantry, and yeah, that's it. Because I can cover that attack with my battleship. I have a mid tank out of range of the neo tank, so that's good. But although it's in range of the bomber, it is protected by the fighter. So yeah. Anyways, probably he wanted to attack because he had another bomber coming. So but I will take anyways that bomber with my fighter. He would have needed to put this entire more forward position to attack the fighter. So there was a possibility for attacks, I believe. Maybe if you wanted to, you can simulate. So it would be a good exercise if you want to. So as I have said, that entire was done for. These two cities were captured. I had nothing much to do with it, and this city is going to fall as well. I can't defend it. Honestly, I don't have the position or the units to. I could sack an infantry, but no, I don't even have an infantry in the vicinity. So yeah. So my opponent decides to fortify his position in the center, and probably wants to shift his whole mass of units to this front, which is less defended. But this is I believe this is a mistake, because if my opponent decides to take the fight here, I do have the advantage because I can now reinforce faster with the airport and with this base, and eventually with this port too. I can deploy a battleship and get some hits or whatever. So I think I'm not sure about that. I fixated my gaze too much in this side of the map, but actually in the match obviously I look at the entire map and look at this position. So I got the two cities. He doesn't have any vehicles here aside from this entire, which are obviously prey to my tanks. So yeah, probably that's why my opponent decided to move there. So yeah, I'm going to rewind a bit. This is my turn. Look at what I'm going to do with these units. So this this transport copter, I'm going to use it to ferry this infantry here and try to go for the port. If I actually get the port, it can be a bit of a nuisance for my opponent. Although deploying something like a battleship there, it's a lot of fun. So it's more of a threat actually than that I really want to capture the port, because I'm not sure if I can deploy something there useful, because battle is probably not going to be there. It's probably going to be here or here. Of course, it would make it easier if I wanted to capture the lab, but I'm not so sure about it. So as I have said, it's more of a threat than that I actually plan to capture the port. Now that I have ruined the turn, look at the position of the battleship. So I know my opponent has a bomber in range and can attack the battleship. So you might be thinking, but why put it out of the port while it has 3-star defenses and put it in the open sea where there's no defense? Well, let's do some maths here with the damage calculator. So look at this. If a Kindle bomber attacks with Urban Blade activated a battleship, anti-battleship, it doesn't destroy it. It's 100% guaranteed that it's not destroyed in one hit. So it survives with 1 HP and fills a lot of my CO meter. So that's good for me. And it's not that I am sagging that battleship. I have my fighter here. That it's going to be moved here, as you have previously seen. So I will protect the battleship from the bomber. I can just retreat the battleship to the port and get some healing while I take out the bomber. So it's a favorable trade for me. Now he would have to use another tank or something to attack the battleship if he wanted to take it out, or well, sacrifice an air unit. So it's a good trade for me. But what happens if I have the battleship in the port? So in the port it takes less damage, but you are not taking into account yet the Urban Blade damage. So this is not a 10 HP battleship, it's a 7 HP battleship, and now it is 100% guaranteed to be destroyed by a bomber, by a Kindle bomber. So yeah, it's the Kindle things. You really want to avoid being on a urban terrain when Urban Blade is near or adjacent. But I don't have problem in this case because this bomber will not reach this port to attack the battleship, so I'm fine. But I mean, look at this. So yeah, that's a little bit of a tactic, anti-Kindle tactic to use. So there's nothing much important here because the only thing that I wanted to highlight by winning the turn is the position of the units in the north. So I'm going to skip these units, yeah, and look at this. I block the port with my tanks so I don't let my opponent have a battleship or something to annoy me here, and I now threat to go with an infantry and capture the port. So yeah, and deploy some bombers because I now I have seen that he's deploying a lot of neo tanks and I need some kind of answer. However, my opponent is smart to deploy some anti-airs in probably anticipation of the bomber. So it's a very good move by my opponent. So that anti-air is toast. This city will fall. I don't have anything to defend it with, and yeah, probably now my opponent is switching his attention to this side of the map, probably because he didn't want to come and attack this formation. But I insist, I think it's not a very good move. Probably this neo tank was this, I believe, could have gone here and put some pressure on this tank and these infantries so that port doesn't get captured, obviously. But strategically speaking, I liked that my opponent has retreated, and now I can attack some of these units that are not protected well, because I have a mid tank and because now I have a carrier. So I am going crazy with this. I am spending a lot of money, which I have because I have the income advantage because of the capture of these cities, and go for the carrier. So my line of thoughts here is that I want to defend this whole position from bombers or copters. I don't care about copters too much because I have anti-airs, but from bombers. So one fighter is not enough because it can be zoned out by the anti-air. So this carrier is now much more of a defense against air units. So basically, I'm telling my opponent, I don't think you are going to like spamming bombers too much because now I have a carrier. However, another strategy that I wanted to do with this carrier was to actually try to go for the carrier lock on the airport. Yeah, that's kind of a long shot because it's predictable, obviously, and you will see a move that my opponent is going to do to totally frustrate that plan. So you may have noticed already what my opponent can do to avoid this carry from going here. Yeah, I think you have already seen it. I swear to you that I didn't see that move, and when I saw it, I was, oh wow, I am so stupid. I should have anticipated that, but anyways, that carrier is protecting me, so it's fine. Anyways, and so I do some transporting of infantry there, and now I am trying to amass some units here because I am sure my opponent is going to try to attack this position. So yeah, I go with my helicopter and my infantry there. So he has to use some units to do something there, because now this infantry is not going to do any damage to this infantry here. So, and I have another infantry here to try to go for the port. So let's see what my opponents do. Also, I use the bomber to block the path of these tanks to attack my artillery, so that now my city is at least one extra turn protected. So that's a good thing for me, because I can protect with this artillery without risk of being attacked. So using a bomber there as defensive unit, yeah, you can use it the same as fighters. So you need to have an entire fighter or something to attack planes. So planes can be an effective defensive unit, and look at this. Yeah, this is the move. Now my opponent is using the black boat to block the passage of these ships, and I am damn it, that's trouble for me, because now these two ships are much more vulnerable. But the carrier has such a huge range of attack that it can just zone out by itself an incoming bomber. So you need two bombers, or like putting a bomber in the minimum range. You don't want to do that here because they have the fighter and an anti-air, so it's still protected. Here I lose a tank to the neo tank. I said turn before, well, I have a bomber, I can punish that neo tank. But now my opponent puts a second neo tank in range of the bomber, so this is strange. Probably my opponent thought, well, if I am going to have a neo tank in range of a bomber, why not put two? Why not put two of them there and let my opponent decide? And one of them is going to be in a sufficiently forward position, so he can pressure with a neo tank. So it doesn't seem like such a bad idea, but this neo tank here, I'm not sure. I will attack this neo tank and not this, because this is much closer to my formation. So this is farther away, so it can't penetrate as deep in the formation of my units as this neo tank. So I am going to attack that one. So probably it was a better idea to just put the neo tank here, maybe. That would be me. I am kind of a defensive player. So, and this is a huge mistake. You can see the carrier has 3 to 8 range. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's a free hit for me the next turn. So at some point I thought maybe he sacked the bomber for CO meter, but no, I don't think so. I think that probably my opponent forgot the carrier's range, and it's a normal thing. Carriers are not so very used. So yeah, I had to check the range of the carrier myself later, because I didn't remember it too. So when I saw it was 3 to 8, good news for me. So yeah. Now the big fight is coming. I take out the bomber. It's a free hit for me, so nice. I don't fear this artillery because I want to fight here. I really want to fight here because I'm closer to my base and to my airport, so I can reinforce faster. Yeah, it's coming. Now the next turn should be the big fight, because my opponent has high society available. So here I'm not sure if you want to use Urban Blight or High Society. I do believe High Society. High Society is a better option in this kind of stally formations because of the many one-hit KOs that are available with High Society. With Urban Blight, yeah, you get to damage enemy units in cities, and the fire bonus, the urban firepower bonus it's huge, but yeah, and you want to actually take out as many units as you can with when you are playing against, and you don't want your enemy units playing against Andy to survive hits, because they are going to be repaired. And I'm surprised here. I don't understand. My opponent resigned. Yeah, resigned, but I think probably my opponent resigned because well, let's see about the metrics. So I am winning in unit count. Yeah, I'm winning in unit value. Yeah, but I believe that unit value it's not a very good measure in high funds. At least it's a decent parameter, but it can swing to the favor of any player so fast because of devastating super CO powers, or because the fonts in the board are much more than in standard or Fox. So that difference of roughly 80 or something K fonts, I believe it's not so much. It's a bomber and a neo tank mainly, and this bomber is toast. So yeah, well, obviously I take the win, but I think my opponent could have done some more things, and let's explore them. Let's see if my opponent had some good chances here. So I am going to use the move planner. Let's see if you can see it. Let me see. Let me adjust the window there. A bit more. Yeah, I think that's fine. So it's Kindle turn. Let's see if I can find a wood attack with High Society. So first, this new tank, I will just move it away here, and I'm going to attack with entire, and this is one hit KO. Exactly, it's a one hit KO. As you can see with the damage calculator, it's one hit KO when High Society is activated by a lot. Look at that firepower bonus, it's insane. So yeah, it's a one hit KO with an entire, which is good for Kindle. This is another big one hit KO. Let's see if yeah, probably this tank or one of these. Let's use this one. Oh, sorry. Damn. Yeah, there. Yeah, this is a one hit KO. This is a one hit KO even with Urban Blight. Urban Blight is enough to firepower bonus with Urban Blight is enough to one hit KO here. If you don't believe me, let's use the damage calculator. So if you attack from a city, that's an enemy attack with okay, we are planes. It's one hit KO. Yeah, you can be so bad lucky to get the 99 roll, but now you will probably get 100 or higher. So it's a one hit KO with Urban Blight. Amazing, no? Well, with High Society, wow, ridiculous again. So more than one hit KO. This is dead and a half. Well, yeah, now let's find another one hit KO. Try to find a one hit KO. Yeah, you may be surprised, but this is another one hit KO. Yeah, attacking that that infantry in the mountain with the entire is a one hit KO. It's ridiculous. I tell you that the High Society's attack bonus it's insane. Yeah, one hit KO again. So well, now I open the mountain for the bomber. No, yeah, it can reach this position. So if I am simulating an alone, an all-in, well, let's use any. Let's use all of the units. So yeah, now what I want to attack here. So this one or this one. Let's have that. Um, let's think about it later. So look at this. This is another one-hit KO. Yeah, this is another one-hit KO. This tank here attacks this infantry and one-hit KOs. So I don't need. I mean, Kindles does not need to attack this 3 HP infantry. Just wipe out that one, and if you want, you can, boom, erase this tank from the face of the planet. Sorry. So now my formation is open. So yeah, my Kindle's Neo tank attack this tank. Well, Bomber attack this tank and shoot. And the good thing of this attack is that Kindle is actually destroying Andy's units because yeah, one hit KOs, so there's no chance for hyper upgrade the dead units. Dead units do not repair, so yeah, that's a lot of damage actually. But I think I have one last good attack. I could go with a tank and attack the infantry or attack that tank, but since it doesn't one hit KO, probably I don't want to do that. So this is another one hit KO, yeah, exactly as you have may probably predicted. It's a one hit KO. Let's see. Yeah, another destruction for Kindle. So it's at least 7 units, I believe, and I'm not sure if I can reach that. Can I reach the battlecopter? I think not, because I positioned this battlecopter to take it into account. So no, this battlecopter is safe, and I probably want to. Yeah, I could attack these infantry here. This is not one hit KO. I'm not going to do the maths. I know it's not so, but it's a 2 hit KO anyways. And I can now put this my Kindle's infantry there. So some more infantry there. And since I am going all in as Kindle here, I want to put tanks here. So probably here. I'm a little bit of a coward. I don't want to expose so many units. This mid tank may go here or here. Let's put it in the city probably. So maybe let's see. Okay, yeah, okay, I know. I'm going to put this one here and put this artillery here so I can protect this whole formation. This tank, what can I do? I'm going to just put it probably out of harm's way because I don't want to. Probably here, no, here in the forest. Now put the Neo tank here. So I don't mind putting this Neo tank here because this bomber is going to attack only one Neo tank. Although probably I wanted to. No, it's fine. I think it's fine. Put this infantry here or something. These are entire probably here. Yeah. This I'm going to skip these units because now these are not going to participate. This one probably yes because it's let's put it there. And this fighter because it has a lot of movement. So yeah, let's go. No, not there because it will one hit KO. But this. This is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a probable formation. Yeah, so let's go. So it's now Andy's turn. I'm going to deploy a bomber here on Neo tank. 2 infantries and that's it. Yeah, we are done with Kindle's turn. So yeah, this should be should not be dark, but whatever. So now my focus is to try to counterattack Kindle's high society attack. So let's see what I could have done in this position. So I want to take out this bomber, obviously. Bye bye. It's a one hit KO even with powers activated, so I'm good there. What's not a one-hit KO is this, and this is a bad thing for Andy because now this Newton here is stabilizing the path of my other unit. So yeah, that Kindle Newton survives with 1 HP. Yeah, you can do the maths yourself. No, I can do the math for you. I'm not going to be stingy with that. So yeah, my bomber, it was on a plane, so it's fine. Yeah, exactly. With both powers activated, I don't one-hit KO. Yeah, you can get so lucky with high roll, but that's probably not going to happen. So you can try to finish with the FC infantry, but probably does 0 to 1% damage, so it's not in the cards probably. Yeah, what I think I can hit one-hit KO is this tank. So let's see. Sorry, just damage calculator. It's on a forest, like this. Yeah, both powers are activated. No, it's not a one-hit KO. Annoying, isn't it? You don't get one-hit KO. That's a nonsense there. But they probably want to finish that tank with this infantry anyway. So bye tank. Yeah. So. What else can I attack? I can, I'm not sure, retreat this infantry here. And I don't have many things to do. I don't want to sack this entire because of this fighter or this battlecopter, so I don't think I'm going to use this. Well, probably I will attack here and here. Bye. And probably this. No. I would prefer to attack first with a battlecopter here, so probably here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I can reach that position with my. I think that's 2-hit KO. I'm not so sure. Let's see. I think it's not. And if it's not, then that's a problem. That's a problem there. And I believe it's not. Let's see. I know this. It is the equivalent of 110 attacks. So it's roughly 33%, I believe, chance of actually getting the one-hit KO. So not a good attack probably. This one was here, so. Yeah, this tank was here, I believe. So probably I will have to. I believe I can do this. Yeah, the thing is, I am now exposing my Neo tank to an attack from the city, so that may be something. Yeah, of course I'm going to destroy this entire, and that's crap. This. This doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a one-hit KO, nice. So bye entire. It's one less entire I have to worry about. And now I can 3-hit KO. Let's attack first with the battlecopter because I don't want my tanks getting damage. But look at the position I'm going to have to put my tanks. Oh, whoa! Look at this. No, I don't like this much. I will probably put this tank here so he doesn't use the. I would attack here. I'm not sure because it will get retaliated with an attack from the city. I'm not so sure. So looking at this table, I believe Kindle's attack was better, probably. So I'm kind of in a rough spot here. Of course, I have these units, so I'm not going to remove them. It's already too long. I have spent time here in the move planner. But why am I doing this exercise? Basically because yeah, you can always just end the match whenever you want. If you don't want to play it or you feel like you're losing, obviously you're free to do it. But from from the meticulous point of view, probably. Uh, there are sometimes ways you can actually do a good turn, and even if you think you're losing, you might actually get a good attack. So yeah, that's probably the lesson of this end game. And another lesson is to never underestimate high society's ability to one-hit KO units. This is why I said that. Yeah, Andy likes stall positions and the end game, late game I mean, but Kindle has her own weapons. So if Kindle one-hit KOs many of Andy's units, it doesn't matter that Andy can heal them, because what are you going to heal? The death cannot be healed. So yeah, that's about it. And well, that's it for this match. I'm going to the window of the match, and I thank a lot Weenie. It was a very interesting and great match. I always have the utmost respect for my opponents. This I'm going to say this, but I hope this is obvious, but these videos are never meant to disrespect my opponent. Never meant to do that. Never. I always give 100 and more percent to my respect to my opponents, because that's what you have to do. You have to respect your opponents. And thank you, Weenie, for the match. It was a very good match, and I hope to play with you again. And about you guys, well, what do you think? There were more positions where Kindle could have attacked first, maybe in previous turns. Could you have found a better counterattack from me as Andy in this last turn, or hypothetical last turn, because it was not played? Let's see your comments. Let's see your propositions in the comment section. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of these videos. Hit the bell so you can get an alert that tells you when I upload more videos like this. So thank you for watching. I think I am going to keep posting videos from this tournament, since I am playing round 3 with Maus. So yeah, whether I win or lose, I will post it, analyze it as the most professional way I can. Yeah, thank you all for watching, and hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.